Hey everybody, Ben here from Cinderblock Studios, and today we're talking about commenting on art. It's something we all do, but it's also something we can all do a little bit better. So for those tips and more, stick around. So when it comes to making a comment on a piece of art, there's actually a little bit more to it than just saying, hey, good job, or hey, I like that. There's actually a lot more to it as well that plays into art marketing. Every artist wants to market their art and market it well and build communities. And making good comments is actually kind of the first stepping stone in that process. So let's start out with what makes a comment bad. Now, not every bad comment is something that is hateful. Something that you're like, oh, well, you suck. That's not what I'm talking about in terms of bad comments. I'm talking about comments that you make that seem good. And just like, I just want to say how much I like this. And that's fine. Every artist appreciates somebody saying, wow, I like this. Wow, this is awesome. Great, love it, awesome work. Artists love getting those. But they don't really go any further than that. You might get the artist to say, hey, thanks. And that's the end of that conversation. So you want to make a comment that starts a conversation, that inspires the artist to respond with more than just thanks. Again, we like hearing awesome, like it, love it. I don't want to stop getting those from you guys, but at the same time, I'd like you to be a little more intuitive with what you're saying. So let's break down the good comment. A good comment is more than just a gut reaction. It really allows you to be specific about what you like about a piece. The easiest way to think about how to make a good comment is to reference, again, something specific. Think about your elements and principles of design. So line, shape, color, value, movements, emphasis on different things in the piece, and use those to inform the kind of comment you're making. Rather than just saying, wow, awesome, you can say something like, powerful color in this piece, really jumps out at me. Or even, this is a great use of like light and shadow, it's like it pops, it's just awesome. When you make comments like that, you get artists excited to respond because you notice something in the piece beyond just the gut reaction of, hey, this is cool. You can get the artist to kind of look at your comment and say, it says, man, the perspective, it's dynamic, there's really something here. And the artist will be like, thanks, I worked really hard on this. You know, it's like, it was really kind of a challenge to get this for me, but I feel like it really paid off. I'm so glad you like it. And that concept is that whole point. You're having a conversation with the artist beyond just, I like this, thank you. You're having conversations that last more than 3 words. They're lasting a few sentences. And you're able to kind of keep going back and forth sometimes, depending on how much you really have engaged the artist and how much they really feel like engaging you for that day. I mean, let's be honest, some artists are busy, they don't have time. Fine, you gotta not keep pestering them. But, you know, when they do respond, sometimes, depending on which account, which website you're on, can take some people a little bit longer. That conversation is usually worth having. And it's not just the elements and principles of design that make good comments. It's about commenting about how that piece of art affected you emotionally. There's a lot of artwork that is specifically stuff based on the human figure. I mean, I do landscapes, so it's going to invoke a slightly different response from a viewer. But something that really kind of tears at your emotions, that's a comment to make. Like, man, this hit me hard. It's like this piece that's really dark, and I'm going through this time right now, and it's like you relate that to the artist. They're gonna respond to that because they're probably going through that too. So comments can be a really great way to open doors between you as a fan or you as an artist to another artist or just an artist in general. Making a good comment, opening that line of communication has done both incredible things for me as an artist and as a fan to a lot of people. I've opened up open lines of conversation with artists as well as just become sort of like a nice dedicated fan from their fan base because I keep coming back and I keep making comments and being interested in the work they're creating. And that is something that everybody, artist or fan alike, is going to appreciate. You want conversation, you want a real connection with people, and a good comment can get you there. And when you get to know artists, 1, we're regular people, so duh. 2, you kind of branch out. You can get into collaborations. You can find opportunities for yourself and for your friends that you may not have found otherwise just by starting that conversation, making a good comment, and getting to know that artist. Okay, so now we've talked about making that good comment, but there's actually another piece of this puzzle as well, and this is for artists specifically. Also specifically on top of that, artists who upload their stuff online. Anywhere that you can have an artist statement, have a description box for the thing you're making, put something in the description box. This is something that drives me nuts. Specifically on DeviantArt, I see this a lot. Really awesome artists, professionals even, post an incredible piece of digital art, nothing in the description box, no mediums, no thoughts on the piece, just piece, title, that's it. This is not a way to start a conversation. When I see pieces like this, it's like, wow, this piece is awesome, it might land in my favorites, but that's all the further I take it, because you haven't invited me to comment. You haven't given me anything to work on. You've given me the title and a piece. And yeah, sometimes a piece can speak for itself, and sometimes. Not usually, not always. Yeah, good pieces speak for themselves. They don't need a description, but give it a description. If you're trying to gain in new fans, if you're trying to build your community, then you have to be able to give them some meat to chew on. Something I started doing a couple of years ago was put little, like 2 to 4 sentence stories into the pieces. So you have a piece, you have the title, and then you have a little description of it, just sort of what I was thinking when making the piece. And then I'll usually list medium and size of the piece as well, because you get a digital image, you don't know how big the piece is. And that's just a way to kind of instill a little conversation, because people will see that and go, oh, okay, that's what he was thinking. Let me put something in as a comment. That's a great way to kind of give yourself your own jumping off point. But when you don't describe your art, when you don't put anything else in there, it's like, well, if you didn't put the effort in, why should I? So a good comment on a piece of art is kind of easy to come by, but it's easy to overlook as well. Next time you're making a piece of comment on my work, on another artist you admire, or just any random artist you happen to find, take the time to look at the piece, figure out what you like about it, and be specific with the comments you make. So if you learned anything in this video, hit that like button, consider supporting on Patreon, subscribe for more, and this has been Cinderblock Studios, and I'll see you guys next time. I should have zoomed in. This looks really, really awkward.